wanted to talk a little bit about reputation management, crisis management, customer service. It's definitely something that comes as a part of social media, and it often scares people away. But I say don't let that hold you back. We never did at Annie Ann's, and we actually used it as a way to surprise and delight people, is what I like to say. Surprise and delight. Now, unfortunately, I don't have free pretzel cards at Annie or at Hemphill School District to surprise and delight, but I try and find other ways. But one thing that we had set up was a keyword on Twitter. So when people mentioned pretzels, and I felt like this could be applicable here, you could put in books, specific authors, then you're going to reply to them and surprise and delight them. So the best
in terms of, people, because I love the idea of having other people tell your story. So if you're able, someone tweets about a book, hey, I'm looking for looking for a great beach read this week. Anybody suggest, and we can then offer up. Yeah. The problem that we run into is that a lot of our clients follow us. We don't want to be favoring one client over the other, or one book over the other. But it's a nice way to surprise and delight people. To your point,
It is. If you're able to send the book, I don't know what your limitations are. If you're able to potentially send them a book, or at least, as you say, send them a link to read more about the book. I think that it's surprise and delight is still my goal. So if you're not there, the conversation is still happening. It's important to be there and to make sure that you're responding within an hour. If it's negative, keep in mind the 3 T's: transparency, timeliness, and tone. So just obviously everything you tweet is public to everyone. It's forever, yes. So make sure that what you say is something that you would say to them face to face. Timeliness within that 1 hour, and then tone, making sure that you have the appropriate tone responding.
Can I ask you a question about deleted tweets? Because we've seen that sometimes where, and I don't mean if someone has a typo. We have all done that, we deleted.
Yes.
But I meant if you're, if like in our case, if we're tweeting something on behalf of either us or our clients and, and there's something wrong, in the issue of transparency, do you delete it or do you even reply to that tweet yourself and say, what we meant to say was what? I mean, what is there, I guess the question I'm trying to form, is there a decision or is there a rule on deleting tweets?
I would say it depends on how long it's been out there. If it's just a couple of minutes, I would say delete it.
Okay.
If it's anything more than really 20 minutes, I would say you gotta leave it there. Because then you look like you're trying to hide something or cover something. And then you can do, as you said, you can retweet that tweet with a new message.
Yeah.
So people know when you delete something?
Well, yes, they'll go back and look for it on your Twitter profile.
But how do they know it was there?
Because it's already probably been retweeted, or someone responded to it, or screenshot it.
So it's happening a lot, like with athletes, it'll happen a lot. There was a story a couple of weeks ago where McDonald's tweeted something at Trump, and it was vicious. And so they claimed that they were hacked, but they deleted the tweet. But of course, everybody, now granted, it's the president, so it's going to be different than if it was you or I, but everybody screenshotted it, and then we're saying, the tweet's been deleted, but in case you missed it, here it is. And that got more attention than the fact that and then they came out and said they were hacked and it wasn't true.
They're always hacked.
Everyone's hacked.
Everyone's like,
why didn't even bother? Yeah, and then it's hidden to everyone who comes to your page, but it still looks like it's there.
For the person who posted it.
For the person who posted it and their friends.
One of the things we deal with is, a good number of times, is when media will say, hey, Publicity is spamming me with emails, and then they tweet it out, and I think we've responded pretty effectively. I mean, we apologize online and say we're taking care of the problem. And
right. I think that's great. I think that's a great way to deal with it. Especially if they call you out.
Yeah, we don't delete anything.
No, I would.
But you just comment, Keller, right? Say we're so sorry. We'll, like you said, being transparent about it.
Exactly. We'll make it right, or we didn't know this was happening. Thanks for bringing it to our attention.
Right.
Because that makes the story go away versus deleting it and hiding it, and then well, then it makes something out of nothing.
Story,
right. Yeah, right.
I had a media contact tweet at me personally the other day saying, like, you need to better, like, Sophia needs to better tailor her pitches or something like that. I know.
Really?
Wow.
And so I replied and I said, sorry if you got information that wasn't relevant to your beat. I'll go in and make sure your information's correct in our system. And I didn't delete it or anything. He didn't respond after
Because
that,
what
no.
can they say in response, really?
Right, it's like,
Okay.
sorry, it was a
How dare you
mistake.
make a mistake?
Right.
You just, you
Yeah.
kind of deflate them right there.
Yeah.
Exactly, you take the wind out of
Yeah,
their
yeah.
sails.
And what
They're
about
like,
the
okay, I
Facebook?
know I'm a jerk.
The Facebook example of someone said, I called Smith Publicity and never heard back from them.
No, yeah, I never heard back. I feel like
Yeah.
I'm being treated like garbage. It was very,
And like, just reply, we're so sorry, you know, because it could be the case of the email incident that you
Right.
had, where you didn't,
Right.
honestly, where did that voicemail go? Did it, you know, obviously that wasn't intentional.
everyone
Yeah.
wanted to respond.
Within-
Every
within 24
inquiry wanted
hours.
to
Yeah.
respond.
Yeah.
We get direct messages. I'm chatting like
Yeah.
with inquiries from India, you know.
Right,
Because you get them a lot, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
You get a fair amount that we all don't see because they're DMs, so
Right,
we're not
right.
gonna.
right. And then the only thing I would say is the rule of three, like if you've gone back and forth 3 times, then take it offline.
Yeah.
Because at that point, everyone's wondering, why are you having this conversation here?
That's good.
You know, there may be some miscommunication going on, so then you just say like, please, can I have a telephone number? Can you DM me your telephone number or your email address so that we can take care of this offline?
That's a good point, because when you see other professional companies and you might see, you know, a dispute or something, you might see like a couple of comments, but then usually the company will say, contact me here, or let's.
Right.
I feel like a
Now
lot
you
of
never
brands
see, like,
do that back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a really good.
A
Yeah.
lot of brands, like, that's their first response. Now. They're
Exactly.
like,
It
call
is.
us, you know.
Yeah, and I
whatever.
think a lot of brands are getting wary too of the free stuff.
Yeah.
Because people are, you know, like, I wanna get something
Purpose.
free and this is
Right.
the easiest way to do it, so I'm gonna tweet you, and then the company's gonna respond and say, we'll give you a free pizza, or whatever it is, and then everyone else wants a free pizza.
Because it has become such a powerful tool for
Yeah.
consumers.
Right,
and
Also, what you, yeah,
customers.
and what we don't want is our response to be part of the story where they screenshot the tweets
Yeah.
every time, you know, and
Yeah.
so it's, because I was in a case where that
Yeah.
happened to us, and we responded, and then the blog post the next day was every one of our tweets was listed.
Right.
Was that with Wiley?
It was about Fromers, yeah, I worked on the Fromers travel issue, and there was a photographic copyright issue, and someone, it started out, you know, walk in on 7:30 on a Friday morning, I'm gonna leave at noon, everything's great, and then it just began to, you know, and then the person in charge of our social media responded in a very emotional way, that's not true, and you're and so, it just sort of fed it,
yeah,
you know, and so I
Let's look
think
into this and we'll take
if
it
there was a 101, the person who was running it didn't do it, it made it worse.
Yeah.
And then, and nothing was offline, everything was done on, and not even DM, all public.
Oh
And it was just
no.
like-
It almost
Makes
just
me
looks
cringe.
like trashy,
Yeah.
like a
Right.
back and forth,
Yeah.
like
It just
fight
looked
between.
petty and, yeah.
Right, like a
So,
professional
Customer's
company.
always right.
yeah.
and I'm sure you can relate, like it's frustrating sometimes dealing with people who are behind a screen and, you know, just, yeah, but sometimes you just have to, okay, like I wanna respond to this, but I need to walk away, I need to take a breath, maybe I need to talk to someone
Come
else
back
and
within the hour.
formulate, right, formulate a response,
Yeah.
And have a plan in place, so that, and we do,
Yeah.
so when we get negative feedbacks, whatever, negative feedback or negative
Yeah.
comments or negative interactions, we know how to reply and not try, and know who to contact to reply, and Mikhail's very good at that, so we know who's involved, it's not just, you know, yelling in the office, well, now what do I do? You know?
right, one of the questions was Smith's publicity brand versus social media for clients and publicists' social media. And the one thing that I looked at when I looked at the Facebook and the Twitter was, if I look at myself as me as a consumer, I'm not sure that I have a reason to follow you. So I felt like, is there a point where you can separate these brand identities and create one that's, actually you already are creating one with all that content. I mean, I'm amazed at the amount of content you have pushed out, it's phenomenal. The videos, it's really interesting content. And I think to some extent it might be more interesting to people who are looking to publish a book.
And that's who we want, because we want
And that's who you want.
comments.
From the other side, if you want to be seen as someone who is knowledgeable about books, and as that route as someone who can, you know, recommend books or maybe bring in more book sales for your authors, is there a separate identity that you can create around book lover?
But Michaela,
kind of thing?
is it about a third that you try to be educational, informative, like she's talking about, and then maybe a third notable hits, and then a third, like, you know, just like Happy Book Day or whatever?
Yeah. We try to, you know, it's a mix of all of it.
Yeah,
you
and
know?
I noticed that.
And it's not just content related that feature our clients, it's also, you know, other book related news out there. Yeah, I mean, we do try to fold in our educational podcasts and
Yeah.
videos and stuff for that audience that we know are followers, you know, the emerging authors and, you know, the people writing their books now and just wanting some inspiration about how to market their book. So,
I mean, that's
So, yeah, I
that's
mean,
why
it's a mix
I've
of
thought,
everything.
I think it's great when we, somebody in New York Times that, well, it makes us look good, so that's part of our showing off what we
Right.
do, but to your point, to the, you know, who are you trying to communicate to and why
Yeah,
is important, because those, so part of it is we're highlighting ourselves, which
But
is
if we have
great.
too many runs,
Then
other
there's,
people aren't gonna care. I think, you know, it's nice to see, oh, look at their results.
right,
But if we have too many results, then nobody's gonna wanna see.
so it's a
Right,
part, it's a part
absolutely.
being, showing off a part to impress prospective authors, educating, and just kind of the fun stuff for them.
yeah.
I think we also had to make a decision that we don't want to attract people who aren't in the publishing world for you know, for that reason.
Absolutely,
You know,
yeah.
and I think we want to, we talk about this all the time, we want to be known in our space. So we will retweet other publishers, we will retweet PW, which is a publisher weekly, it's a magazine. Again, in an effort to be more ingrained in our community, but we don't want, you know, someone like my brother to follow us because he's not gonna, you know, he's not in the industry, and it'll be information that's lost to him,
Right.
right? So,
Right.
but I think that's having a goal of who we want to interact with us, and not just, oh, I wanna have I wanna have 5,000 followers. Well,
Exactly.
who are those followers?
Yeah, the closest we get to those consumers, I think you're talking about, are the book bloggers who love to read and love everything about books, and, you know, they're the ones that are tweeting, you know, what their TBR stack is, and, you know, all of those fun book hashtags that we include. So, we try to get to, I mean, of course, we get to them, but I think
Right.
those are the group of people that are most consumers, most
Okay.
consumers.
Before
Right.
Michaela was here, we had two Twitter, one is Smith Publicity and one was just for business books, because there was such a unique group of people. They didn't care about the fiction, they didn't really care about the fun
right,
and the hashtags as much as building a brand for your business book. But we just didn't have enough time and resources to do both,
right,
so we ended up dropping that one. But it had a good start, I think the concept was good.
That's almost comparable to how you broke down your district
Mhm.
into 10 schools. If we did that across 10 genres, just add 9 more Twitter accounts.
yeah,
And it's 911,
And I worked
to build and everything else, it's, yeah.
I used to, yeah, I know what you mean. I used to handle Star Restaurants, and
Okay.
we had 20 different
Yeah.
restaurant pages, plus Star Restaurant's main page, and
yeah, it gets to be,
But it's an interesting point, because just actually using you as an example, because I know Shannon's an avid reader, and I'll see her Goodreads like reviews pop up on Facebook. Hey, I just reviewed this book. So, you know, maybe finding a way to attract those avid readers, not necessarily
Professional
like
readers.
professional, right?
Right.
Even with their own blog, but just people who love to read. You know,
So
what are we
have a
offering?
recommendation for our
Yeah,
clients
like
directly
right,
to readers.
right, because it helps our authors then,
Right.
because we're promoting their work.
yeah,
You
and I
know.
think that's where each platform comes into play. Like that sort of avenue we take with Instagram. We really tap into the Bookstagram community, which are full of, you know, there's book trade media out there, part of that group. There's the book bloggers, and then there's the just book Instagrammers who just take photos of books
right, right.
and read them.
Well, that's me sometimes.
So,
Yeah. Or here's the stack of books I want to read.
Right.
yeah.
I applaud you. I think the content was phenomenal. I really liked the diversity of what you showcased. So the 1/3 rule makes sense to me. And I would say, if you're, or as you're recommending things to your clients in the social media space, again, keep focused on the platform and what's going to work for them in their book, not necessarily where they want to be. So I know, like, I think people my age might default more to Facebook, but maybe their book is about business. Facebook's not going to be the best place for them. It's going to be Twitter, LinkedIn, exactly. So pushing them in that direction, and then if they're not comfortable, moving them to your next level of service that you have of, okay, we're going to do this for you for 6 months and get you off the ground. Yeah, I thought some other ideas I had jotted down, just repeat the content across the most relevant platforms. When you're taking time developing a lot of content, so if you can find ways to tweak it to make it appealing to the different audiences on the different platforms.